For the first time in human history, the world officially has a trillionaire. And honestly, your brain cannot comprehend that number. See, when we hear the words million, billion, and trillion, we just think they're regular steps on a ladder. Like a billion is just a little bit more than a million, and a trillion is just a little bit more than a billion. But the actual math? The math is absolutely terrifying. Let's look at it in time. If you drop a dollar bill every single second, it would take you 12 days to drop $1 million. Not bad, right? But to drop $1 billion at that same speed, it would take you 32 years. Now, think about that. The jump from 1 million to 1 billion is the difference between 2 weeks and 3 decades. But to drop Elon Musk's new fortune of $1 trillion, you would have to stand there dropping a dollar every single second for 32,000 years. Like, you'd have to start before the last ice age even ended just to finish spending it today. Think about it in physical size. If you took $1 million in cash, it fits into a regular backpack. If you take $1 billion, it fills up an entire bedroom. But $1 trillion? You would need a literal fleet of 1,000 semi-trucks just to haul the cash. If you laid $1 trillion $1 bills end to end, they would stretch to the moon and back over 200 times. Honestly, we used to think Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg were the ultimate bosses of wealth. But right now, the gap between Elon and the rest of the world's billionaires isn't even a gap anymore. It's a whole ocean. Elon Musk is now worth more than the next 4 richest billionaires on the planet combined. Like, he could buy Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and Larry Ellison and still have enough money left over to be richer than everyone else. Elon makes the world's richest people look like they are playing in the minor leagues with pocket change, and the single human being holding the keys to that absolute cheat code is Elon Musk. But how did a guy who was literally sleeping on a friend's couch 20 years ago cross a finish line that crazy? It started with the most unhinged casino gamble in business history. See, back in 2002, Elon made his first massive bag by selling PayPal to eBay. He walked away with roughly $180 million. Now, a normal person would have bought a mega yacht, retired to a private island, and lived off the interest forever. Instead, Elon went completely crazy. He took every single dollar from that payday and split it between 2 risky industries that the entire world said were guaranteed to blow up in his face: an electric car startup called Tesla and a private rocket company called SpaceX. He literally poured $90 million into rockets, $70 million into electric cars, kept $10 million for himself, and had to move into a rented house because he didn't have enough cash left to buy one. By 2008, the gamble looked like a total disaster. His first 3 rocket launches at SpaceX had literally exploded into the ocean. Tesla was completely out of cash and days away from dying. He was going through a brutal divorce, and he was quite literally borrowing money from friends just to pay his personal rent. He was standing right on the edge of zero, but he refused to fold. He took his very last remaining millions, rolled the dice on a 4th launch, and it miraculously made orbit. He caught a life-saving lifeline, and the engine started running. Fast forward to today, and that insane gamble didn't just pay off. It turned into a massive, interconnected machine that completely took over the modern world. You see, most billionaires own one big company. Jeff Bezos has Amazon. Mark Zuckerberg has Facebook. But Elon didn't play the standard wealth game. He engineered a massive network of businesses that all feed into each other like a real-life sci-fi movie. Think about his chessboard. First, you have Tesla. Everyone thinks it's just a car company, but it's actually a massive robotics and artificial intelligence powerhouse. Millions of his cars are driving around right now, acting like cameras and brains on wheels, collecting data to train his next big project, xAI, his artificial intelligence company. Then you have X, formerly Twitter, which acts as his global megaphone and a giant playground for his AI to learn how humans talk. But the ultimate crown jewel that finally pushed him into the $1 trillion club is SpaceX. SpaceX didn't just build rockets, they quietly took over space. Right now, Elon's company owns and operates more than half of all the active satellites circling the planet Earth through Starlink. Think about that. He doesn't just provide internet to rural areas, he literally owns the invisible grid that connects the modern world. If a government or a corporation wants to put something into orbit, they basically have to ask Elon for a ride. And the moment the world realized he had a literal space monopoly that nobody on Earth could compete with, the vaults opened up. Wall Street basically threw $75 billion at him in a single night, and the value of his empire just exploded into outer space, essentially vaulting his personal bank account past that historic 4th comma. So while the internet spends all day arguing about his daily tweets, the system just rewarded him with a net worth that completely stretches the absolute limits of human comprehension. He turned the entire global economy into his personal playground. But right now, the real question is entirely up to you. Do you think one single human being controlling $1 trillion corporate monopoly is a triumph of human innovation and a fair reward for a guy who risked every dollar he owned? Or is it definitive proof that the system is fundamentally broken when one man holds more wealth than entire nations? Take a second, go down to the comments and drop your honest thoughts below. Let's talk about it.